A new bike trail is open in Allen County, tying into the greater Allen County trail system and expanding it to over 60 miles. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with those details.
The baby formula shortage is growing worse. Now the White House says they're stepping in. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on their plan coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Police arrest 2 burglary suspects after a standoff. Webb City police say around 7:30 this morning, officers were called to the 1600 block of South Orinoco about a burglary in progress. Now, while searching, they found the suspects in a home on the 900 block of West 1st Street. Told them to come out. They didn't. The Jasper County Special Response Team was called in, and authorities used chemical munitions to force the suspects out. The incident was in close proximity to the junior high school, so staff there set up an alternate pickup for dismissal. I want to clarify a story we ran yesterday. We say the suspect in Monday's robbery at Joplin's Great Southern Bank, Vincent Gibson, right there, had been arrested and charged for that robbery. Gibson has in fact not been arrested, but authorities have issued a warrant for his arrest and federal charges have been filed. Authorities say Gibson called police after the robbery to say that even though the surveillance photo right there looked like him, it really wasn't him. But authorities compared photos of the robber and Gibson, specifically a hand tattoo, and determined they are the same person. Happy ending. In the search for a missing 12-year-old girl in Newton County, Missouri, law enforcement had participated in the search last night for 12-year-old Italy Savage, a suspected runaway. They were especially concerned because the family says the girl has health issues that could have been aggravated by the heat. Numerous law enforcement agencies, search groups, and even a bloodhound participated in the search. The girl's mother found her walking along I-49 around 1 this morning. A historic Joplin building heavily damaged after an overnight fire. Emergency crews responded to a fire at the Cleveland Apartments complex around 1:17 this morning. Authorities say the apartments were being remodeled, did not have any tenants. The Cleveland Apartments are part of the historic Murfreesburg neighborhood. Meteorologist Doug Heddy joining us now. Man, it is so important. You're just reminded of this to drink water on days like today.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the heat and the humidity. And you got to remember the sun angle is high. It's the same angle that it would be in late July, as of course we have the summer solstice here in about, 6 weeks, which is kind of crazy. It's been hot. It's been humid, 91 for us today. Average high 76, so you can see well above. Set another record high for us today. The record high was 88. Set back in 1963. That was the same year that we set the record yesterday as well. We look pretty good, pretty much clear skies across the region, but thunderstorms out to the west. This is our next storm system. Our thunderstorm chances increase tomorrow. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
Doug Heddy, thank you so much. A new trail tying the Allen County trail system together recently opened at the Allen Community College. Now that system is over 60 miles long. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky has how this trail is going to benefit Southeast Kansas residents. And what's next for the system's expansion?
Good news for lovers of the outdoors. Biking and hiking trails in Southeast Kansas are expanding.
This wraps into more than 60 miles of trails and routes that we now have here in Allen County.
Last week, Thrive Allen County celebrated the newest trail at Allen Community College.
And to have the students here be able to be that better connected within our community, we're just really excited to be able to do that.
Now, the trail system in Allen County is connecting students and staff to over 60 miles of trails. In September, that will expand from Iola to Fort Scott to Pittsburgh.
We just put in a bike route called the Prairie Pathways bike route that connects Iola to Fort Scott to Pittsburgh, and so that's going to be opening in September.
John Leahy, Bike and Trails Coordinator for Thrive, says the trails can help bridge gaps between Southeast Kansas communities, which are pretty spread out.
Our goal is to increase accessibility to anyone who wants access to recreation or for transportation. We find that specifically out here there's a lot of recreational users, and on the Prairie Spirit and Southwind we get a lot of transportation users getting to and from businesses.
People use these trails for a variety of reasons, but the biggest goal Thrive Allen County has for them is to improve the health of the community.
We've really seen a large variety of why people use the trails and how much healthier they have helped make our community.
Building on the idea of health, the next trail will be at the local hospital for patients and staff to use as desired. In Iola, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
All trails are free and open to the public. Leaders of the Ozark Center, Freeman Health Systems, put on their Hard hats to break ground on a new addition to Turnaround Ranch. 3 new cottages are being added so they can increase the number of residents. Now the cottages are designed to be private residences, with each new one being fitted to give residents a private bedroom. The campus is a safe space for teenagers to provide safety from physical harm and trauma.
When you upgrade your buildings and your facilities, people change their behavior to match what they're given. And I think we'll see a lot of change in the kids' behavior. The cottages are very old and have a lot of maintenance needs on a regular basis.
First cottage is going to be finished by December 2022, with the final cottage being finished by 2024. The cottages will increase the number of residents by 6. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today signing legislation to legalize sports betting in Kansas. The new law is going to allow people in the state to use phone or computer apps to bet on sporting events and to place bets at state-owned casinos, though it's not clear yet how soon the wagering could begin. Most of the state's share of the revenues from the new gambling will go to efforts to lure the Kansas City Chiefs from Missouri to Kansas. All across the U.S., parents of infants are growing frustrated with baby formula in short supply. The White House says it's a top concern for them now as they try to ease the supply chain woes, but others want to know who's responsible in the first place. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in D.C. with more on what led to the shortage.
The baby formula shortage is growing worse,
It's kind of a nightmare, to be honest with you.
with parents searching high and low across the U.S. for a way to feed their small children. President Biden spoke with national retailers on Thursday, as the White House says they're planning to cut red tape on manufacturers and stores in order to get products on shelves quicker, import more formula, and crack down on price gouging.
More needs to be done, that we do not want parents, mothers, families out there to be stressed and worried about feeding their babies.
The shortage is due to supply chain issues and the shutdown of a major formula producing plant in Michigan after 2 infants died. Abbott Nutrition voluntarily recalled some of its products during the FDA investigation, but says there's no evidence linking the deaths to their products.
This factory was shut down because of lack of safety. Had to be shut down, full stop.
Abbott said their plant could be back online in 2 weeks if the FDA approves, but it would be another 6 to 8 weeks before the products hit shelves. Some are blaming the FDA for not preparing parents.
They waited for parents to go to the market, and all of a sudden the shelves are empty.
But some Republicans say it's the administration who has dropped the ball.
This outrageous, unacceptable situation has been unfolding in slow motion over several months.
Next week in the House, the FDA commissioner will testify on the baby formula shortage. The week after, another oversight committee will hold a hearing. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Firefighters are assessing damage in Southern California after the coastal fire destroyed several homes. Officials say dry conditions there helped fuel the flames. Fox News national correspondent William Lajeunesse is going to have more on this story, we hope, in the show. First, KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor one of our 4 state heroes. James Wallen served in the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1945. Native of Fort Scott, Kansas, Wallen was stationed in Rome, France, also Rhineland. We are proud to thank James Wallen. He's tonight's 4 state hero. Meteorologist Doug Katie's next with a complete look at the forecast. And a bit later, Girard High School hosting the CNC Track and Field Championships. Going to have those highlights in sports.
Friday through Monday.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another warm and very muggy, humid day across the region. Look at our temperatures over the past couple days. Both the days have been record highs. We hit 90 yesterday. We hit 91 for us today officially. So way up there. The humidity hasn't been outrageous, but bad enough across the region. Still upper 70s to near 80 degrees outside for us right now. Let's go to 7th and Rangeline. Currently sitting at 80, southerly winds at about 10. Humidity is at 52%. We look fine, but just to our west, to our northwest, here are the thunderstorms. Strong to severe thunderstorms from Minnesota, Iowa, down through Nebraska, parts of Kansas. These stretch, here's the second band, out through central Kansas. And some of those guys are going to try to get in a little bit later on tonight, especially southeastern Kansas into northeastern parts of Oklahoma as this storm system kind of rips out across the northern parts of the plain. So let's go through time. Let's break this down and see what happens. As we go into the overnight hours after midnight, clouds increase. Southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and a few scattered thunderstorms start to work in. You can see these scattered thunderstorms. Some of these could be stronger, not looking at anything severe tonight. But bands of showers, even some thunderstorms here 6:30 in the morning. These are going to try to progress east into the metro late morning to near the noon hour. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe, but these clouds and these showers may help additional severe thunderstorm development later on in the day. So those kind of die out. Then we get to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're sitting mainly into the low to mid 80s. 68 to start, 80 by noon. High temp, right around 85 degrees. We're going to have the southerly winds at about 5 to 10. As we go through tomorrow evening, we're going to start to get some scattered thunderstorms trying to pop up. These are going to be very, very widely scattered, maybe just 2 or 3 storms. You can see one near Yates Center. Again, this is a model projection, so if one storm popped up this time, it could be over Parsons or it could be over Nowata. It just gives you a general idea. But those that pop up could be strong to severe. So you can see these kind of hit and miss storms through the overnight hours into Saturday morning. Saturday looks fine. We warm up, lower 80s once again, and then we're going to have to watch for a batch of thunderstorms trying to work in again by the time we head into Saturday night and Sunday morning. So a low severe threat for us tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Again, only a few random storms are going to pop up, so I'm going to keep all the threats low. 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. main threat, wind and hail, but I'm not overly concerned about this. Something we'll keep our eyes on. Thunderstorm threat's going to return by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. We'll also have a severe threat with those, so a lot to watch as we go through the next several days. 85 tomorrow, 85 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Really, we stay kind of between 80 and 85 degrees. Chances for thunderstorms just about every other day.
Yeah, those traditional summertime, as you said, pop-up storms.
Yeah.
Happen every summer.
Yeah, that's what it feels like outside.
See you in a little bit. Thanks so much, Doug. Firefighters are assessing damage in Southern California after the coastal fire, as it's being called, destroyed multiple homes. Officials there say dry conditions helped fuel these flames. Fox News national correspondent William Lajeunesse has more.
Multi-million-dollar mansions left completely gutted here in Laguna Niguel. Embers from the coastal fire made their way through vents and attics. Roughly 24 homes in this Orange County neighborhood destroyed. Today, firefighters were out dousing hotspots, trying to prevent the blaze from burning more structures. Hundreds of homes have been evacuated.
Within a matter of 15 minutes, it grew like triple in size, and the winds were just fierce. They just kept blowing, and they jumped from canyon to canyon in the lower canyon.
The fire remains small, scorching roughly 200 acres. It began near a water treatment plant Wednesday afternoon before rushing up a canyon. But this blaze was different from others. Unlike many fires that erupted across the West, this one was not fueled by dry Santa Ana winds or low humidity. Instead, chilly coastal gusts fanned the flames. Officials say the area's drought and topography combined to make this fire dangerous.
And what happens in that canyon where it started was at the bottom of the drainage. It started running up canyon and up slope. Those are two devastating factors.
Authorities are now trying to determine a cause. Southern California Edison told state officials there was circuit activity where the flames broke out.
Our fire investigators are looking at that right now, and they're going to look at all aspects of what could have caused this devastating fire.
Officials say California's drought will likely lead to a very busy fire season. In Laguna Niguel, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Coming up, more than likely unwelcomed news to Vladimir Putin.
NATO is poised to expand to Russia's northern border. That could be good news for Ukraine. I'm Greg Palcott in Kyiv. That's my story. Coming up.
First, here's a look at our tower camera, sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction, as work continues on the KOAM More Power project. Check it out anytime on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/power. Russia's neighbor is applying for NATO membership, a big strategic win for Ukraine as fighting intensifies along the front lines. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more from Ukraine.
It's a big diplomatic win for NATO and the West. Finland, which shares an 800-mile border with Russia, will officially end years of non-alignment and apply for NATO membership. It's a move that could change the security landscape of Europe. Russia is warning it will take, quote, military technical steps in response to the announcement, which could signal a possible diversion of troops from Ukraine to the Finnish border. Officials in Helsinki largely supporting the move, saying they no longer trust Russia to keep the peace.
This attack was something which is totally impossible to understand or to accept, and it means that every neighbor of Russia must think and rethink their position.
On the front lines, Russia is making minor gains in the Donbass region, but Ukrainian forces have the momentum in the northeast, pushing Russian troops away from Kharkiv, the country's second biggest city, though they warn the fight is far from over.
Units of the Russian army are regrouping to prevent the continued progress of our forces toward the border.
And as the fighting intensifies, Vladimir Putin is pushing back on Western sanctions aimed at isolating the Russian economy, claiming they're politically motivated and could spark a global economic crisis.
Guided by short-sighted, inflated political ambitions, by Russophobia, they are more likely to harm their own national interests.
And Moscow issued another warning on Thursday, saying the war in Ukraine could develop into a direct conflict between Russia and NATO. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Still ahead, why there's increasing worry over another possible invasion by another country, China, crossing into Taiwan.
Columbus, Kansas.
The war in Ukraine has many in the U.S. government concerned about a possible Chinese invasion of Taiwan. New wording on the State Department's website is causing problems with the Chinese government. National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin has details from the Pentagon.
A tempest in a teapot. That's how the State Department would like to characterize China's angry outburst regarding new language on a State Department website describing Taiwan and its relationship to China. Gone is language like the United States does not support Taiwan's independence. The online State Department fact sheet also dropped the phrase Taiwan is part of China.
Our policy towards Taiwan has not changed. The United States remains committed to our longstanding One China policy. We do not support Taiwan independence, and we have repeatedly made this clear, both in public and in private.
Now the U.S. is blurring and hollowing out the One China principle by changing wordings concerning Taiwan. Such an action to seek a political manipulation and to upset the status quo in the Taiwan Strait will end up getting burned.
The State Department insists all it has done is update a fact sheet. On Capitol Hill today, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and General Mark Milley defended the president's new budget request.
We are entering a world that is becoming more unstable, and the potential for significant international conflict between great powers is increasing, not decreasing.
But top U.S. intelligence chiefs who testified this week said it is still their assessment that China prefers to swallow Taiwan and not have to rely on force.
China would prefer coerced unification that avoids armed conflict, and it has been stepping up diplomatic, economic, and military pressure on the island for years to isolate it and weaken confidence in its democratically elected leaders.
New reports suggest the Biden administration is pushing back on some of Taiwan's requests for big-ticket weapons, urging them to buy other defense equipment that U.S. officials believe will better deter and defend against mainland China. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Beautiful weather. It's hot, yeah, but perfect time for being in the garden. So, have you ever thought if plants can grow in moon dirt? Gonna have the answer next. Big day for the scientific community. Look right there. Scientists were successfully able to grow plants using lunar soil brought back by NASA astronauts for the first time ever. University of Florida researchers planted seeds in dirt from the moon last year, not knowing if they would grow or not. Took a chance. And now the plants are sprouting, though they did end up growing stunted. The lunar dirt used was collected by Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and others. So tomatoes don't do well on the moon, which is disappointing. I was thinking about that. They'd be good for the aliens. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Gonna hear how Pitt State students working on a project could change the lives of children with movement disabilities. Plus, gonna take you over to the Flower Box City for the opening season of the Neosho National Fish Hatchery. Students at Pitt State partnering with a local charity that gives kids with mobility struggles a chance to move around freely. They're doing this by designing a special all-terrain wheelchair. KOM's Joplin has more on the story.
Over the course of the past year, 5 students from the Pittsburgh State University's Mechanical Engineering Technology program have been working on a project that aims to help improve the lives of children with movement challenges. They have created a motorized wheelchair that can go on multiple terrains, carry up to 50 pounds, and at full power can reach up to 20 miles per hour. Christian Schultz, a student on the design team for the chair, says that inspiration came from outside of our planet.
We were told that we needed something that had a good suspension and that could traverse hills and dales and, not jerk kid around. So we found a design online that was a Mars rover.
The students, along with the university, are partnering with Learn's Geeks for Kids, an organization with the same mission: help kids with mobility challenges so that they can better interact with their friends, family, and environment. Electric wheelchairs can cost on average about $17,000. Geeks for Kids will take the wheelchairs like the students at Pitt State design, mass produce them, and donate them to kids in need. The president of the organization says that a task like this means more.
Sometimes in our real jobs, like in my real job, I run a software development company, and the things that we build, I hope, make businesses run better. But it's extra special to make somebody's life better, to change their lives.
It's easy to take for granted the little things such as walking, but Rebecca says delivery days are a reminder just how important they are.
Delivery day, when we give the cards to the children, is kind of like Christmas on steroids.
In Pittsburgh, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
The chair is going to be unveiled June 4th in Kansas City. Proud day for some Joplin High School JROTC Cadet Corps students who received awards for the American Legion Post-13. An Excellence Award was given to Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Mary Benerick, and the American Legion Military Excellence Award was handed to Cadet Major Deaton Watkins. Watkins says he takes pride in what he's participated.
Just trying to make the entire program better overall. Like throughout my 3 years, I've tried to make the drill team better, marksmanship team, and just overall every single class better.
Now, there are strict guidelines for these American Legion Awards, among them being in the top 25% of their class in JROTC and non-JROTC subjects, and actively participate in student organizations, constructive activities, or sports. The Neosho National Fish Hatchery is back open for the upcoming season. A really fun, historic place that's been a part of many generations. The Fish Hatchery is also celebrating the recent restoration of historic 1929 fish signs. Several fun events are planned for this year.
First fishing derby, first one in 2 years. And this one is for veterans and for active duty military personnel. And it's going to be Saturday morning. Registration starts at 8, fishing starts at 9. It's this pond right here.
The Neosho National Fish Hatchery is open every day, so be sure to check out their website for operating hours or call them. Next time you're at Spiva Park in Joplin, you notice some sprucing up that's been done. You think of some volunteers with Keller Williams Realty. They and the grandson of George Spiva did some landscaping today at the park.
I told them the situation here at the park. It's been kind of neglected over the years. New plantings have not replaced when things died, and it's just a lack of the labor force and income to do that for the city, to put the money into this park.
Potting soil for this project was donated by Lowe's. One of the nation's most critical water reservoirs is drying up at record rates, exposing gruesome discoveries of human remains. Fox News' Rob Dawson has more on if the bodies in Nevada's Lake Mead could be connected to decades-old mob activity in nearby Vegas, and why officials there say more remains could still be hidden.
Shocking human remains uncovered in Nevada's Lake Mead Reservoir after extreme drought fueled by climate change continues causing water levels to nosedive to their lowest in recorded history. Over the weekend, 2 people paddleboarding on the lake discovered human bones, including a jaw with teeth. This comes days after the decomposing body of a man was also spotted inside a rusted barrel in the lake, similar to this one recently found. Law enforcement are currently treating the case of the man in the barrel as a homicide. Investigators have not yet identified the remains, but presume he may have been shot, estimating he died anywhere between the mid-1970s to early 80s. The discovery now causing speculation over whether the death could be traced to members of the mob who once dominated nearby Las Vegas.
We were born from the mob, basically, unlike any other city that you could think of.
Although some local officials say more evidence needs to be unearthed.
If they're able to identify the caliber of bullet, that would tell them an awful lot as to whether or not this is a, quote, mob hit or not. Ordinarily, the mob in those days, if they were going to kill somebody, they took the person or they found the person outside of Nevada, outside of Las Vegas, because they did not want to bring attention to Las Vegas.
But as Lake Mead continues drying up, crime experts warn these discoveries may not be the last.
There's concerns that there are other bodies.
Environmentalists predict water levels could fall by another 20 feet over the coming weeks, spelling catastrophic effects as the lake delivers water for tens of millions of people living in Nevada, Arizona, and California. Rob Dawson, Fox News.
And that's something. A bit later, hopefully an easier time living in an apartment.
A new startup wants to take the guesswork and the legwork out of paying your rent. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a very warm and humid day. Once again, temperatures back up right around 90 degrees. Our heat indices were high. Pat, severe weather across the northern plains. You want to see something cool? I just found this on Twitter. And I even found a better video, so I'll have to post it for the 10. You know what this is, Jordan?
No.
Haboob.
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 Oh, okay.
Remember the dust storms in the 1930s? Yeah. That's what that is. So it comes roaring at you. It turns completely black. So because all the storms up there, all the dry conditions, it picked up all this kind of dust. I'm going to find a better one for the 10 o'clock. So those are pretty cool. But here, it's hot. It's been dry. Temperatures near 90 yesterday. Set a record, 91 today. Set another record across the region. Look at our temps now. Still upper 70s to 80 degrees. So it's warm, it's sticky. 7th and range line sitting at 80. Humidity is at 52%. Nothing going on here, but we have those thunderstorms. These are the guys that kicked up those dust storms because you get, in a sense, when you get these lines of storms, it pushes out a gust front. Very similar to a cold front. That's why a lot of times before big storms move into the region, you get the winds that pick up about 10 minutes before the storms. That's a gust front, and that's what also pushes those dust storms across the region. This line of storms will try to get in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. It's not going to be as strong as what they are seeing out toward the west, but we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here late tonight into the morning hours, mainly on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. They slowly kind of work east. Some of these could be a little bit stronger, not anticipating anything severe. These kind of march east and really kind of die once they get to the state line. But we are going to have a few scattered showers late morning into the early afternoon. We'll have to see how much that kind of overworks the atmosphere, how much sunshine we can get during the afternoon. 80 by noon, high temp 85, southerly winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, a few random thunderstorms are going to pop up. May only be one across the region, maybe two. But if those guys can get going, we'll most likely see strong to severe thunderstorms. Main threat's going to be hail and wind, but that threat is there as we go through tomorrow evening. These are gone by Saturday morning. Saturday looks okay. We warm up once again, lower 80s, and then again, Saturday night, we get a complex showers and thunderstorms that will drop in. So here's 9:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. So we do have chances for numerous rounds of thunderstorms. We have chances again as we head into Sunday. All right, so severe threat, overall it's low. This is tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to keep all the threats on the low side, but still something we want to keep our eyes on. As we go into Sunday, more thunderstorms pop up during the afternoon, which it is that time of year. All right, 85 for us tomorrow, 85 Saturday, 86 Sunday. Really, we stay into the low to mid 80s. Chances for thunderstorms just about each and every day.
It is a nice cool down at night, though.
Feels pretty good.
The humidity is still there.
The humidity stinks.
Yeah. That sun, without the sun, it makes a difference. Doug Heddy, thank you so much. All right, coming up in sports, Pitt State baseball hitting the field in the Final Four at the MIAA tournament. Plus, Crowder softball aiming to punch its way into the National Championship tournament this weekend. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are in the Final Four in the MIAA Conference Tournament. The Gorillas hit the field tonight in Edmond, Oklahoma, facing Northeastern State. Now, the winner of this one moves on to face Washburn tomorrow morning. Pitt State falls tonight 7-4. So they'll face top-seeded Central Missouri in an elimination game at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Staying with playoff baseball, the Crowder College Rough Riders kick off the Region 16 tournament tonight in Joplin, facing the St. Charles Cougars. Crowders ranked 5th in the nation coming in and swept St. Charles in their 4-game series in the regular season. Top of the third, Connor Hutchings hits a line drive over the second baseman's head. Run scores for St. Charles. They go up 3-0. Bottom half, though, Jackson Cobb jams it into the left field corner. Gavin Glasgow dives home. He's safe. Big play for the Rough Riders. They take a 4-3 lead. Now later, Kenny DiClemente gets a good piece of this one way back to the wall. Actually going to turn into an inside the park home run. Crowder rolls from there. They get it done 13-8. The Crowder softball team has already won a regional championship. They've earned their spot in the Midwest District Tournament. The Crowder hits the road to Iowa this weekend to face Indian Hills. The Rough Riders head into the weekend with a 51-8 record. If they're able to win this weekend, they'll earn their 10th trip to the national tournament in program history.
They're the leading offense in the entire nation. They have the 3 best home run hitters in the entire nation, and we think that we have maybe one of the best pitching staffs in the entire nation. So it's going to come down to whether our pitchers can handle their offense and whether we can match them offensively. We actually have about 15 girls on the team that could start at any given day. The majority of our players on this team could start for any team in our conference region or the surrounding 3 states. So our depth is really important, especially this time of year when we have so many injuries.
Well, one of the best high school wrestlers in Southwest Missouri signs today to continue his career at the college level. Seneca's Gabriel Commons will be staying in the 4-state area, signing this afternoon to join the NEO wrestling program. Now, Commons is a 3-time state qualifier for the Indians. He finished 2nd at state as a junior and 3rd as a senior. But in all 3 years, he helped Seneca finish top 5 as a team in the state. So he's going from one program with high expectations to another at NEO.
I'm going to meet their expectations of their workouts, their practices, and I'm going to try and exceed that bar to where I meet that goal of being an All-American. NEO stood out to me the most because of the program, wrestling. I just know if I'm going to go anywhere to wrestle, I'm going to get better at NEO.
It is postseason time for local high school track and field. And Girard High School hosts the CNC League Championships this afternoon. And here, a few early highlights from the meet. The girls' shot put, Girard's Olivia Cullen runs away with it. Her best throw right there, 38 feet to win the CNC title. The boys' high jump clearing 6'8" today. It's Colt Ungehauer from Columbus winning the event. A girls' long jump, Colgan's Allie Skripsic wins and PRs by more than 7 inches, posting 16 feet, 10 3/4. Then in the triple jump, her teammate Lily Brown, 37 feet and a half inch. That wins it for Brown, and as a team, the Colgan girls would go on to win the CNC League title. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Landlords collect billions each year in rental payments, and now a new tech startup wants to move those payments into the digital age. Fox's Eben Brown has more from Miami.
Plenty of Americans still rent their homes, whether it is a house or an apartment. But how do you pay? Cash, check, Apple Pay Cash? Do you have roommates? How is that working out? Confusing?
My roommates and I were sending a bunch of Venmo payments around, and then the unlucky loser, frequently me, would then have to deposit the funds into the bank account, write a check, put the check in the mail, and then cross my fingers.
It was so frustrating, he decided to build an app and a service. Enter Boston-based Rent Drop, a tech-based solution to the problem of renters wanting to pay rent one way and landlords wanting to collect that rent another way. Tenants pay landlords more than $300 billion each year in the U.S., but it is mostly done the old-fashioned way with written checks or handing over cash, meaning some folks are getting left behind as the rest of the world transitions to digital finances.
There are 7 million underbanked households in the U.S. that just don't have access to traditional financial institutions. And those households still need to be paying their rent every single month.
Rent Drop allows tenants to pay rent digitally and individually. In the case of roommates, landlords get paid directly, and soon Rent Drop will report rent payments to credit bureaus for the first time ever.
If we can sort of break up how renters want to pay from how landlords want to collect, we can start really building an experience that is right for all parties.
Now, the average rent in the United States this year is about $1,300. That's 17% more than it was last year. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
More attention over the next Avatar movie. Hollywood Nation coming your way. The Avatar sequel trends online. Spider-Man No Way Home tops new list of nominees and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin tonight. Kristen Goodwin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Want to trade confessions?
Kendrick reteams with Lively. MTV announces nominees, and Avatar racks up views in the Hollywood Nation. James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water is attracting a lot of attention ahead of its premiere in theaters December 16th. The trailer to the long-awaited sequel debuted online Monday after playing exclusively in theaters over the weekend. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the preview racked up 148.6 million views across various platforms within the first 24 hours of its release. It was watched more in a single day than the trailers for the recent Star Wars movies, but F9, The Fast Saga, still holds the record for the most views for its first day online, with 202.7 million.
Hello, Peter.
The nominees for the 2022 MTV Movie and TV Awards have been announced. Spider-Man No Way Home leads the pack with 7 nominations, followed by HBO's hit teen drama Euphoria with 6 nods, and Robert Pattinson's The Batman with 4. The event will also honor reality television and competition shows by hosting the MTV Movie and TV Awards Unscripted on the same night. The ceremonies air June 5th.
She's like a beautiful ghost.
And a sequel to A Simple Favor is in the works. Lionsgate and Amazon Studios are partnering for the follow-up to the 2018 hit thriller, with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively reprising their roles. The first film follows a widowed mommy vlogger who launches her own investigation on a friend who mysteriously disappears.
She was not a normal person like you or me.
In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Kristen Goodwin reporting for us tonight. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a porcupine going for a walk, visiting other animals at the Oregon Zoo. Come on, say hi to me. I'm not going to poke you. On purpose, anyway. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.